Hello everyone. Department of Diploma in Computer Engineering of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Loneri had organized a webinar on online teaching made easy on 17th August 2020, but due to some unavoidable reasons, it could not be hosted live through my channel Learn with GSM. So, me, Mrs. Gitanjali Samir Mahamundkar, take the privilege to record this webinar through my YouTube channel Learn with GSM. In this channel, you will find videos related to different subjects and topics related to computer engineering. I also propose to post the videos related to my research work on geospatial data analysis using deep learning in future. This is the first webinar. This was supposed to be the first webinar, especially for my teaching fraternity who are eager to find simple, convenient and free methods to conduct online classes. So whether you are a student who wants to do the last moment revision before the examinations or your regular studies, or whether you are just curious to learn or know about a topic in computer engineering or related field, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon and keep watching the videos on it. So let us move to today's topic, that is online teaching made easy. Friends, in this pandemic, the most affected sector, I believe, is the education sector. So to continue our noble task of spreading knowledge and education, we have to be abreast with the technology available. I have found some simple techniques which require basic technical knowledge that would suffice to carry out the task that we used to do during our regular routine before the pandemic. Now in this session, I'm going to cover all these tools. The first one is Google Classroom, which I found to be the best way to communicate with your students and also to organize all the activities like posting assignments, quizzes, announcement of events, sharing study material, etc. The other is Google Meet, using which you can conduct live sessions of your lectures, conduct presentation of students, ask the students to present their work, or the mentors can counsel their students if they want through Google Meeting sessions. The screen recording can be done using S Recorder software, which is a free desktop application used to record the screen and create video lectures which can be posted on the classroom for the students so that they can watch it later according to their convenience in case of network issues when your online sessions are going on. Actually, this is why like the event that occurred today, in case of network issues, screen recording could be the best option. Like you first record the video lectures and then post it to the Google Classroom for the students to watch later. There are other tools that one may require while teaching on online whiteboard, especially for mathematics teachers, drawing teachers, or even others who are accustomed to use chalk and blackboard method while teaching. Then there is an online compiler like www.ide.geeks4geeks.org. It is a free compiler that one can use to demonstrate programming in various languages like C, C++, Java, PHP, Python, Perl, Scala, or HTML and JavaScript, etc. It is useful especially for the faculty from computer engineering or information technology or any other computer or IT related branch. Now the Google services and Chrome extensions that I use in addition to aforementioned tools are Google Forms to conduct surveys, quizzes or take tests, then Google Calendar to announce an event a priori, or Google Meet Attendance, which is a Chrome extension to record attendance during the Google meeting and store it to disk in CSV format. Now the presentation templates for the PPTs that I make are from slidesgo.com. You can find multi-purpose presentation templates on this site which are freely available for use. Now if you have watched other videos on my channel, if you have loved the themes that I have used for recording the lectures, it is all, the credit goes to slidesgo.com. The templates I have taken from over there, the themes for designing my presentation slides. So now let's move on to the demonstration of each of the tools that I have mentioned till now. The most fundamental thing while using any of the Google services, that you need to have a Google account. If you haven't got a Gmail account, first create one, and then you are ready to use all the Google services. So now let's start with the Google Meet and the Chrome extension for recording attendance, that is Google Meet Attendance. Now this is Google. You just have to search for Google Meet Attendance in the search tab of Google search engine, and you'll land on this page. Click on Google Meet Attendance. This is the extension. Google Meet Attendance is the extension which you need to add to Chrome. Okay, now it will, you just this pop-up will come. You'll just have to add the extension, and a tick mark will appear over here. Use this extension by clicking on this icon, and you can manage your extension by clicking extensions in the tools menu. Okay, so this when this like if you wanted to pin it to your toolbar, you can just pin this extension in the Chrome tab. See, this appears over here, Google Meet Attendance. Okay, now through this Meet Attendance also you can start a meet. Okay, but you'll have to first sign in with your Google account to join a meeting. Now what I'll do is I'll sign in with one of my Google ID. Okay, and once I sign in, I can host a meeting as a faculty. So because I am using this as a faculty, I'll have to click on new meeting. If I was a student, I would have entered the link provided by my faculty over here, and then a join tab would pop up, and I'll have to click on that to join the meeting. But because I'm a faculty, I'll join this meeting using new meeting tab. This will give me three options, like I can schedule a meeting in the Google Calendar. How to do that, I'll let you know later. We'll discuss it later. Then get a meeting link to share with your students or somewhere else, or start an instant meeting over here. Okay, now see, this is how, like, I'll just shut off the camera. Okay, this pops up only if you have this extension in your Chrome tab. Okay, this is about the new installation that has occurred now. I'll close this dialog. So this is a thing that pops up to, like, it is a Meet Attendance pop-up. Okay, now because you are a faculty, I'll just switch off the microphone also, and I'll join the meeting as a faculty. Now this is the joining info for my students. Like, this link is for students. You'll have to share this with the students, or you can just add people to your meeting through here. Like, if you have email addresses of the people you want in the contact list, whoever is there, you can just click over here and invite them for the meeting. Okay, else when your meeting starts, like the meeting has started, suppose at 18:59, the duration will be given over here, the time. Okay, current start time is this. You can adjust that start time from over here, like at what time you want your meeting to start. Actually, here you'll have to enter the list of students. Now if you have classes already, here I don't have any of the classes set, so I can just add class. Like, suppose I want a class SY, diploma computer, whatever. I'll click on this, a class will be added. This is the class that has been added. You can now check the my classes list. See, here SY has appeared. I have selected this class. Now the class list goes here. Okay, I can just click over here to add the list of students who will be joining this. Okay, like Gitanjali Mahamunkar. Now suppose this is the student who is supposed to join the class. This list is of the student whom I expect to be in the class. Okay, and if out of this, like whatever names I mention in the list, if a student tries to join a meeting, a student out of that list tries to, or any person out of the list tries to enter the class, a pop-up will come which will ask permission to be granted. Like if you grant the permission as admit to the student, only then the student will be admitted, else you can deny the entry to the student. Okay, now once this is done, if you want this window to go off, you can just click on the tick mark, and then as and when the students will be added to this meeting, like this is the list of people in the class as of now. Once the students go on adding, like to this meeting, the names of the students will appear over here, and they will be automatically added. A tick mark will appear in front of that name, like who is present. Okay, and then you can either save the attendance as CSV file, or save the attendance to an HTML file, or you can clear the attendance checks, okay, that have been there in the to the list, okay, before a session starts, and clear the class list fill if you want the names to be cleared out of the list. Okay, and next time when you want to start the session, you can just select the class list from here, clear the attendance previous checks, and then start the session. You can do this later on. Now suppose when I leave the okay, now before I tell you how after you leave this session have the attendance sheet is downloaded automatically, let me tell you how to use this platform. This is a Google Meet platform which I was supposed to explain, like how to conduct meeting using this Google Meet platform. You can either start a Google meeting just by logging in, like just by entering Google Meet in the Chrome, okay, and click on Google Meet, okay, and start a new meeting from here, okay, or you can go through the Meet attendance extension that as I showed, okay, and then or you can also start a Google meeting through your Google Classroom. When I'll be teaching Google Classroom, I'll explain how to do that through Google Classroom. But as of now, suppose once you enter into the meeting, you start a meeting, this is what will appear in front of you, and you can either chat with the students from here, hello, and the message will appear for all the students in the those who are present in that meeting, okay, they all will be able to see that chat, okay. If they want to talk to you, they can type in through this chat section and communicate with you. You can again if suppose you have a presentation to show, you can present now, okay. Now you can either share your entire screen as I am doing right now, or you can share a particular window, like which window you want to show. Suppose you want to show this, see, then you'll be able to see the presentation template window, okay. This is the presentation slide that I'm showing. You can stop sharing whenever you want this to, you can stop sharing again, okay. And if you click on present tab and a Chrome tab, like you want to show some video in between online, then you can click on the Chrome tab and you can demonstrate from which tab you want to show to them. Like suppose now I want to show this Google Meet attendance tab, so I'll share that tab, and it is saying your login status changed or something like that. Now I think you are viewing the Google Meet attendance tab, okay. So this is how you can do that and stop sharing the thing afterwards when you want to stop sharing, okay. You'll be brought back to this session. Okay, now this is how, so you can mute on and off the microphone as and when you want. Then you can put on the camera and turn off the camera as and when you want. Okay, so this is in short how you can connect with the students through Google Meet, how you can communicate with the students through the Google Meet. Okay, how you can present any window or any Google tab using this Google Meet. Okay, now let me end the call. This is how you'll end the call. When you end the call, what will happen is a pop-up window will come which will say, don't forget to save your files. That is the attendance file. So when you save the CSV file, what will happen is you'll get this Excel file of the attendance record that was taken during the Google Meet session. See, this is the attendance for Gitanjali Mahamunkar, that is me. Okay, the sheet will be named as 17th August 2020 at 6:59. This is the arrival time of this person. Okay, when the other person logs in, your student logs in, his or her name will appear over here, and a tick mark will appear if the student is present, and the arrival time will be marked in front of it. Okay, so this is how the attendance record for a particular lecture will be marked or saved in CSV format. You can later on save it as Excel, in the Excel format, PDF format, or whichever format you want, using the normal this thing, okay, file. Now this is when you want to disable attendance for a particular meet that you are going to host. Okay, if you don't want to collect attendance for a particular meet, you can disable this using the knob over here, a blue knob over here. Okay, so I hope Google Meet and Google Meet attendance was clear enough, and now you can at least host a live session for your students and take their attendance. Now for the computer engineering faculty, I would like to tell how they can use an online compiler. Like, see, I have a online compiler which I talked about, like www.ide dot geeks4geeks.org, geeks4geeks.org. Okay, this is the site where you will find an online compiler which you can use to demonstrate programs to your students while teaching them online. Okay, you can actually teach them, you can type in a program that you want, okay, show them how to compile it and execute it online, and then okay, so this is ide.geeks4geeks.org. It is an online compiler for demonstrating programs to the student online and showing them how to see. You can just sign in with with any of your Google account, and you can just write a program in C or C++ or C# or Java, Perl, PHP, Python, Python 3, Scala, etc., etc., and you can just execute. Here I have already written a program. I'll try to execute it. Okay, and here is the place to give input to any of your programs, and the corresponding output appears here as soon as they are the program is executed. So this is how you can get the output. So this is the way this online compiler is useful not only for the teachers to demonstrate a program, type in a program, and execute it for the students online and show how they can do a particular program, but also for students if they haven't got the softwares to be installed on their machines or even if they haven't got that infrastructure, they can just use it on their machine. They can just log into the site on their machine and type in the program and practice programming in C++, or any language for that matter that is supported by this. It is totally free. Okay, so this is how the computer engineering people can use this. Now the next thing that I was supposed to explain is how to use a Google Classroom, right? So let me tell you about the Google Classroom. So again, for using Google Classroom, you have to go to Google Classroom, and this classroom.google.com will take you to Google Classroom. Now because I have logged in as GS Mahamkar, my Gmail account, what I'm doing, these are the classes which I have already created, and my students have joined me in these classes. Okay, now this class is the one when I was doing a faculty development program. I had joined in as a student. Okay, so you can either create a class, you can archive you can move it, you can copy the invitation link for this class and share it with the students that you want to if you want a student to join your class, you can just archive it. By archive, you mean this will be archived, means deleted in a way, but not exactly see over here in archived classes. You can see these classes again, and you can just get back these classes. Like if you want these classes to be restored, if you want them to restore, what you can do is you can select a class, the three dots over here, and click restore. Okay, when you restore it, it will be again added to the list of classes over here. Okay, but if you delete a class, like in this case, see I have archived certain classes, you can find it over here. This is the archived class. If I delete this class, what will happen is I'll have no longer access to any of the posts or comments that have been added to this class, but the class files will remain in Google Drive. Okay, but once I delete it, I can't undo this action. So carefully delete any class that you have created, because you won't get access to the posts or comment added to those classes. Okay, so now I haven't got any archive class. But when you want to use Google Classroom, I would suggest that you log in using a G Suite account. Like now our university has given G Suite account, so it has given us university logins. Like now I'll use my university login to log into the Google Classroom, and using which I'll get to access more features of the Google Classroom. Now I'll show you the difference between using a personal login for Google Classroom, and the G Suite account. If you open this class, you will see there is a you can use this to create announcements or share announcements with your class. When you create a new class in your Google Classroom, that you do using I'll show you how to create a class. But when you create a new class, you can share anything with the students from over here. Okay, next you can reuse announcement from any class that you teach. Now this is the Google class code that you can share. You can display this, okay, or you can copy the invite link and share it with the students through WhatsApp groups or mail them. You can share this the code with the students. If they log in to the Google Classroom with the Gmail and join a class, they'll be asked for a code. Then this code, if they enter, they will be automatically added to your Google Classroom. Here in Google Classroom, if you have a G Suite account, then you'll get this option, meet link. You can generate a meet link from over here, and the students from your class, Google Classroom, those who have enrolled to your Google Classroom, will automatically get the link, okay, or you can share that link with those students and conduct a Google meeting like this. See, you can connect with students for distance learning, you can manage your meetings and everything. You can, if you generate a meet link and make it visible to the students, they'll see it and they'll join your session. Okay, now what is the difference between this and this? See, this is also a class, but you don't get a Google option to generate a meet link through this. This is when I use a personal ID for conducting classes. Okay, now see here, I'll show you. When you log into Google Classroom, this is the page where you come. You get a plus sign over here from where you can create or join a class. If you are a student, you'll join a class. If you are a faculty, you'll create a class. When you create a class, you'll get this option. If you are using a personal email ID, you'll have to admit that I won't use Classroom for a university with students or something. But because I'm doing this during the pandemic and I'm properly conducting the classes, online classes for students of my university, I won't use this personal ID, but I'll have to use this G Suite ID, using which I'll just create a class over here. See, I'll just create a class over here. I'll have to enter the class name. Now suppose the class name is SY Diploma, then section Computer Engineering, subject suppose OOP, room number suppose 17 or something, and then I create a class. Now when I create a class, when I click on create a class will be created in this, and the students will be added to this class when I share the link of this class with them. Okay, that is that if I share this code with them, or I copy this invitation link and I ask them to, this is the thing, or I can copy the link and I can share it with the students. Okay, so this is how I can share the link with the students. Okay, and ask them to join it. Now what I'll do is I'll show you the options that are there in the Google Classroom. As I said, you can create assignments and questions. So this is where you go to the classwork tab, click on create, you get the option to share material, study material with the students. If I click material, I can, within your assignments, you can add or create docs, slides, sheets, drawings and forms, and you can share it with the students. Okay, you can already existing files can be added through this, like from your Google Drive, or any link that you want to share, or any YouTube video that you want to share, or any file on your disk, you can share it through this. Or you can there itself create any Google document or slides or any Google sheet or any drawing, or create a form and share with them. You can give some title to it, describe it. If you want to share it with a particular class, like if you want to share this with this is the default class, but if you want the same thing to be done by both the classes, you can click it from over here and you can select, or you can be very specific to few students, like instead of all students, if you want it to be shared with particular student, you can add the name of the students. A topic, if you want to create a particular topic and want that material to be related to that topic, then you can do this. Also you can create a quiz assignment. What it will do is it will let the students know that their assignment will be evaluated. Okay, you'll have to create a rubric and use it for grading or providing feedback. This is the rubric. Okay, if you want to check plagiarism, then assignments with originality reports will be done. Okay, so that you can do over here. Now Classroom can import grades for assignments. Grade importing automatically limits to each form to one response per user, collects email addresses and restricts responses to users in your domain. You can import the grade. See, this facility again is not present if you are using personal email ID, a personal email, a personal Google account for this. If you have a G Suite account, then this grade importing thing is allowed. Okay, and you can assign the points to your assignment. How many points you want to give? You want to give 10 points, you want to give 100 points, or whatever, that you can decide. If you want to set a due date before which you want the students to submit it, then you can do that. You can give time also, this is optional. Okay, so this is how you can assign the assignment to it. Okay, this is the Google form which can be used to create a quiz or question paper, or any survey that you want to conduct. You can write a question over here, give multiple choice options. Now this is out of scope of our today's session, so I won't go into detail into this. I'll create another video. If you want, you can just comment below if you want a video to how to create a test paper. Then I'll create, if you want this, I will create a video for that too. Okay, then share the link with them. Okay, so this is how it can be done. Now this was how you can give assignments, then quiz assignments, post a question, ask a question to the student. You can ask any question and expect short answer. The students will be able to do this, and you can click on ask. Okay, this is how questions can be added. So this is how you can do this. You can also create a meet from over here online and host it for the students. Then here you can see which students are there in your list. I will show this because I have students added into this. See, this is the list of students that I find that have been added to my Google Classroom. Okay, and this is how I used to like give class. This is the tab where I can give class work. Okay, when I submitted the classwork, students used to submit it, okay, through the stream. Okay, they submitted their assignments on this site. So this is how you can communicate with the students through your Google Classroom. You can make announcements from over here. You can type in something and then share it with the class by clicking on post, or you can give a link of whatever you want through this add button as attachment. This is similar to use a normal social account, okay, to communicate with the student. And this is free, so it is again very convenient to use. At least those who have G Suite account can use it. Even if you don't have a G Suite account, your personal account can be used, and except for few of the facilities, you can use it very conveniently. Like you don't have a meeting link, you can't generate a meeting link from over here, but as I had shown you how you can conduct meetings without even having a classroom, Google Classroom, you can do that. Okay, now I have discussed how to create a have to conduct a Google Meet. I have shown you how to use a Google Classroom. Now let us move on to how to use an online whiteboard. I have shown online compiler also. I'll show you how to use a online whiteboard, or which whiteboard I use while teaching. Like generally we are very much accustomed to use an online whiteboard. So this is awwapp.com. This is the site that you have to go to. Okay, and when you click on this, you will come to the page of AWW, a whiteboard. AWW stands for a whiteboard. It is a touch friendly online whiteboard app that makes drawing, collaboration and sharing easy. Just have to start drawing. Okay, here are the options. You can select undo, you can select the color. Suppose this color I am using, this is a pencil. I'll start writing over here. If you are very much acquainted of using a mouse, it would be easier for you, but if no, then what you can do is this is an eraser actually, which you can use to erase whatever you have written on the whiteboard. Okay, it acts as a duster. As you have duster in your classroom, you can just wipe it off like a duster or an eraser from your notebook. Okay, and you can also select a marker to write. Okay, this is a bit thicker than the normal pencil. You can select the size of this also. Instead of using a eraser, you can just simply click on undo and it will go. Then you can use shapes to draw. It is a unfilled shape, empty shape. This is a filled rectangle. Okay, this is how you can use to draw figures. Okay, you also okay here. Then what else, you have text boxes where you can start typing like okay, hello, welcome to learn with GSM, right? So this is something you can just go on typing if you are not very much familiar to use this pen kind of thing. Okay, you also have these arrow marks that you can use. You can create arrows over here. These are random arrows, but if you want these line arrows to be done, see, this is an arrow, this is a straight arrow that you can draw using this. You can use a line also instead of arrows like this. Okay, and you can use it to draw any figure on the whiteboard. Okay, so this is how you can use this whiteboard. Or you can have a sticky note wherein you can just type something and post it on the board. You can drag and move it anywhere on the screen. Okay, you can just delete it using this. You can select anything and delete it, duplicate it, or see, you can paste it, copy it, paste it somewhere. You can log this over here. I'm deleting this. Okay, you can also select this and simply delete everything by selecting the area that you want. Okay, so this is how you can use this whiteboard. Yes, of course, you can export this board, or you can upload like you can upload a PDF or a PPT on this whiteboard, and you can upload an image over here, and you can then start explaining that image. Okay, you can select the image from this and start explaining the image right from over here. This is the image, suppose related to some subject, and then you can start explaining this image on the whiteboard itself. Okay, so this is how you can not only upload an image, you can upload a PPT, etc. Okay, and remove this image from over here. So I hope you have understood how to use this online whiteboard. Now the next thing that I wanted to discuss is how am I recording the screen. If I have to record voice record whatever I'm like teaching now, how do I record my screen? I'm using basically a screen recording software, S Recorder. Actually, Screencast-O-Matic is a very common recording software that people use, but the free version allows only 15 minutes of recording. And now you must I am recording my screen since last I don't know how many minutes, but then similarly, if you want me to know how this can happen for n number of how we can record my screen, then go to Google and search for S Recorder software. S Recorder software. This is the free recording software that records your PC, desktop, and for free. Okay, this is a free. You can just download it from over here. I have already done that. And when you start downloading it, once you start running the your setup wizard will come. When you run the setup, you just have to click on next, and read the agreements, agree all the terms, and next to continue the installation. It is a very simple installation which will create a desktop icon and a quick launch icon on your screen, using which you can start running the recorder. But this will appear over here. See, in the tray I have got this symbol. This is the S Recorder symbol. When I click on this, this kind of video appears, which I can pull and decide which part of the screen I want to record, whether I want to record using voice or without using voice, and then put add voiceover in the video. Okay, so this is the software that I use for recording my screen. Once the recording is over, and I stop recording, I can either delete it if I don't want to save it to the computer, or click on the save button to save the recording, or upload it to any of the social media account like Facebook or Facebook, Twitter or Google or whatever. But be sure you have accounts already on these sites before uploading to these sites. And so it is as simple as that. It records your video. You can store it to the videos file by default, or you can store it wherever you want. Okay, and please be sure when you are recording to check whether the sound enable disable box is according to your wish, like whether you are recording it with sound or without sound. Save the video on your computer, and you should have enough space on the drive to save the video, and then you can post your video using the share button, or you can share the video to the Google Classroom for the students to view. Okay, now I think this was enough uh, uh, for you to actually this was enough for you to conduct a session online using Google Classroom. You can just do the activities like we used to earlier, like we used to communicate with the students, we used to share our notes with them. You can do this through Google Classroom. We used to give them assignments and check their assignments. This can be done using Google Classroom. Then Google Meet for conducting online lectures, like, okay, and then screen recording if you don't want to conduct online sessions. And then you can just record the video lectures and put them on the Google Classrooms for the students to watch. If you have network issues, whenever network is available, the students will watch the video lectures according to their convenience, and continue with their studies. This is the online whiteboard that I talked about, if you want during the sessions. Then online compilers for running the programs. Okay, then I have also told you about which extensions I used, like Google Forms, Google Calendar. Yeah, Google Calendar is the one that I wanted to show you. Wait. Google Calendar. It was there actually in the Google Classroom. You can add a event through the Google Classroom. So instead of telling you about the Google Calendar as a separate app, I will tell you how you can add an event to the Google. How you can add an event, okay, through your Google Classroom. Schedule a meeting through the Google Classroom. See here, you have a can schedule go to Google calendar. This is the Google Calendar. Okay, here this is the Google Calendar, Gmail on your calendar, and what you can do is you can just create an event, okay, which you want. You can create a event, okay, and share it with your students. You can just give a reminder to the students or set a reminder for yourself. You can create an event, add a Google Meet video conferencing event, like you can notify the students about a Google meeting, okay, in advance. You can set the date, the time, okay, for the meeting. You can add location, give some description about the meeting, and 10 minutes before you'll be notified about the meeting, okay, as well as this, you can add the guests for this, okay, meeting, and save it, okay, and it will be marked over here, okay. So this was the only, I think, thing that was remaining in the Google this today's session, okay. I hope this I have provided enough material to you to conduct the session online classes for your students, and now you have been geared up with all the applications that you would need, like at least that would be fair enough, like the applications would be sufficient enough for you all to conduct the sessions. So if you have liked this video and you think it helped you a bit, and if you want more such videos to watch on my channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon, like this video, share your comments, share this video with your friends, and let me know how you found this video in the comment box. Thank you. I'm Gitanjali Mahamunkar signing off. Thank you.